Fellas, let's have a real conversation today. A conversation that many are too afraid to have, but one that must be spoken. If we want to build strong families, strong legacies, and a future worth passing down, listen to me carefully. If you see yourself as a king, then you must act like one. And kings do not marry whores. Kings marry queens. The woman you choose to build with is not just your partner. She is the foundation of your household, the mother of your children, and the carrier of your bloodline. Marry the wrong woman, and you're not just cursing yourself, you're cursing your future offspring. Your daughters will embody the same traits as the woman you choose, and your sons will be raised by dysfunction, learning from the example you allowed into your home. A woman who has spent her life selling herself, whether physically or emotionally, is not a wife. She's not wife material. A woman who views men as walking ATMs, who has charged men for her company, her attention, and her body, has already sold away the most sacred parts of herself. And you, as a man, would be a fool to take her in as a wife and expect her to transform into something she was never trained to be. A king chooses a queen because a queen understands loyalty, honor, and the importance of preserving the integrity of her family. She builds with her hand. She uplifts him. She builds with her man. She uplifts him. Say that again. And she raises their children with values that ensure the next generation thrives. She is not a woman whose past is riddled with transactions, deceit, and emotional emptiness. Now, I know what some of you might say, but people change. People deserve love too. And to that, I say, yes, people can change. I'm a prime example of that. When I was younger, I went to prison. I was selling drugs. And what made it worse is that I didn't have to sell drugs. My family was well off. Well, my dad's side of the family. But I chose that route because of the people that I felt were cooler, of the hang with. My family seemed too stuck up, too bougie. I went to prison, I did my time, but when I got to prison, they never let me know that, hey, you don't fit in here. This is not for you. Don't come back. So I say that to say this, that when I was in prison, I didn't spend my time playing basketball, lifting weights. No, I stayed in the library. I was in the law library. If I wasn't in the law library, I was in the unit reading a book. I didn't watch a lot of TV. So people can change. I'm not saying that people can't change. I'm a prime example of people that can change. But it is not your duty as a man to rehabilitate a woman from her past. It is not your job to take the risk of making her your wife, hoping she becomes something she has never been. That is a gamble no real man should ever take when it comes to marriage and family. Not at all, bro. If you must marry wisely. Marry a woman who has shown through her actions, not just her words, that she values herself, her femininity, and the sanctity of her future. Her household should be, or her future household should be, something that is very important to her. You see it like the little girls, but when they're growing up, they like to play house, because that's important to them. And that shouldn't die as a little girl. That should gain momentum as she gets older. Do not let lust, desperation, or pressure make you settle for a woman whose past will haunt your future. Yeah, I laugh, bro, but it's not a joking matter. I say this because I see the state of us as men. Now, there's a bunch of bad men out there, no doubt. You understand? I don't take that from them. But a lot of those bad men were raised in single family households. A lot of those bad men didn't have a father figure in their life. You know what statistics say about single mother household versus single father household? It's day and night. A lot of those men that act that way, we like to say in prison, they call them, I ain't gonna say it, but be as ninjas, because they have taken on the emotional traits of their mothers, how they act out, just like a lot of the crimes that are hacked and the murders and stuff. Those are emotional triggers. Those are not manly behaviors. Those are female tendencies to react emotionally. Those are things that they learn from growing in a single family house. We need to break that cycle. And in order to break that cycle, we as men need to choose better. We need to be able to control that thirst, that lust for that booty. You know, a lot of guys are crazy about it. But when you think about it, bro, that's where she defecates at. Not taking anything from it, but this strong desire you have for that. You know how you hate cleaning your child diaper. But that's another story in itself. But a king does not lower himself to build with a woman who has sold her dignity. A king finds his equal, his queen. Choose wisely, fellas, because your bloodline depends on it. A powerful quote that I heard years ago, it says, the choices of today shape the generations of tomorrow. As men, we need to do better. When you know better, you do better. And you're supposed to choose better. If this message resonated with you, please like, share, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Martin from Martin is Chosen 2. I want to thank you for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey fellas, I just come and want to put a little clarity, because I know this subject was very touching for a lot of people, especially if the women watch it. But just want to know, brother, in order to change the course of history, and I know a lot of you all are not content with the state of the females that we have to choose from, and a lot of that is our problem as well, not being that father in the house. And that goes back to, oh, well, she did this, but yeah, you pick wrong. You need to pick, brother, pick